asked one of them, "Uncle, can you give me your sword? Let me have a look." He handed over the sword to him. He chopped his head. And he came back to the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Basir, and said, "O Prophet of Allah, you already fulfilled your promise. You handed me over and Allah saved me." The Prophet ﷺ looked and he said, "Indeed, you are a troublemaker." So Abu Basir was smart enough. He realized that the Prophet ﷺ is going to hand him over again. So he ran away. What did he do? He formed a gang, Abu Basir, on the route of the trade of Quraysh, on the Red Sea. Any caravan, he stops and confiscates. Any person in Mecca becomes a Muslim, he doesn't go to Medina. He joins Abu Basir. Now the number is increasing. Quraysh came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, take them please. Okay, take them. We don't mind. But the Prophet ﷺ, he kept his words. He did not break the covenants. This is the fiqh. He said if there are some Muslims, they signed a treaty with the non-Muslims, they cannot fight them. But if there are other Muslims are not involved, they can carry on doing the jihad. Because Abu Basir was fighting them and the Prophet ﷺ did not stop him. Are you following? Because Abu Basir is not involved. Are you following? This Muslim country has a peace treaty with this country. They cannot fight. But they have nothing. So nothing will stop them. Are you following? But that is Ibn Taymiyyah. The fiqh of Ibn Taymiyyah, they said, he is like the sea. When he talks, you will find him talking in tafsir and hadith and everything. If he talks in tafsir, he say the only discipline he mastered is tafsir. If he talks in fiqh, he say he's a jurist. Talks in hadith, he say he's a muhaddith. He mastered all the disciplines. Subhanallah. Buraidah narrated, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أمر أميرا على جيش أو سرية أوصاه بتقوى الله ومن معه من المسلمين خيرا فقال اغزوا بسم الله في سبيل الله قاتلوا من كفر بالله اغزوا ولا تغلوا ولا تغدروا ولا تمثلوا ولا تقتلوا وليدا وإذا لقيت عدوك من المشركين فادعهم إلى 3 خصال أو خلال فأيتهن أجابوا لك فاقبل منهم وكف عنهم ثم ادعهم إلى الإسلام فإن أجابوا لك فاقبل منهم ثم ادعهم إلى التحول من دارهم إلى دار المهاجرين وأخبرهم أنهم إن فعلوا ذلك فلهم ما للمهاجرين وعليهم ما على المهاجرين فإن أبوا أن يتحولوا منها فأخبرهم أنهم يكونون كأعراب المسلمين يجري عليهم حكم الله تعالى ولا يكون لهم في الغنيمة والفيء شيء إلا أن يجاهدوا مع المسلمين فإنهم أبوا فاسألهم الجزية فإنهم أجابوا لك فاقبل منهم وكف عنهم فإنهم أبوا فاستعن بالله وقاتلهم وإذا حاصرت أهل حصن فأرادوا أن تجعل لهم ذمة الله وذمة نبيه فلا تجعل لهم ذمة الله وذمة نبيه ولكن اجعل لهم ذمتك وذمة أصحابك فإنكم إن تخفروا ذممكم وذمة أصحابكم أهون من أن تخفروا ذمة الله وذمة وذمة نبيه. وإذا حصرت أهل حصن فأرادوك أن تنزلهم على حكم الله فلا تنزلهم ولكن أنزلهم على حكمك فإنك لا تدري أتصيب فيهم حكم الله أم لا. The meaning, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam deputed anyone as a leader of an army troop, of an army, that is a troop or expedition. He admonished him to fear Allah and be good to the Muslims with him. He used to say, start fighting with the name of Allah and the cause of Allah, and fight those who disbelieve in Allah. You fight and do not take unduly from the booty, nor break any treaty, nor mutilate the dead bodies, nor kill the children. When you meet your enemies who are polytheists, invite them to 3 alternatives. If they respond to any of these positively, accept them at their words and do not continue the war anymore. Invite them to accept Islam. If they agree to accept Islam, ask them to leave their homes and migrate to the lands of Muhajirin. Tell them that after migration they shall be entitled to get all the privileges and obligations of Muhajirin. If they refuse to migrate, then make it clear that they will have the status of Bedouin Muslims and shall be subjected to the commands of Allah like other Muslims. But they shall not get any share from the booty or returns of the war, unless they fight on the Muslims, and unless they fight on the Muslims' side. If they do not confess Islam, impose jizya, tax of protection taken from the non-Muslim citizens in the Islamic State, on them. And if they comply with, then restrain your hands from them. But if they refuse to pay the jizya, then seek Allah's help and fight them. When they lay siege to a fort and the besieged appeal to you for protection in the name of Allah and His Prophet, do not accord them the guarantee of Allah and His Prophet, but give them the guarantee on behalf of yourself and on behalf of your companions. For it is a lesser sin that the security provided by you and your companion is disregarded than the security granted to them in the name of Allah and His Prophet. When you besiege a fort and the besieged want you to let them out in accordance with Allah's command, do not let them come out in accordance with Allah's command, but do so at your own command, for you do not know whether or not you will be able to carry out Allah's behest with regard to them. Now, this hadith which is in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he sends a group of Muslims to spread the word of Islam, as you know, my dear brothers and sisters, Islam is the only true belief. And this is the religion that Allah accepts. Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. The only deen, the only way of life Allah accepts is al-Islam. But there is no compulsion in religion. We don't force anyone to become a Muslim. We invite the people. We present to them the truth. And then it's up to them. And then it's up to them whether to accept it or leave it. But if someone stands in the way and blocks the way and says, I don't want it, that's fine, that's your choice. And I will not let you take this guidance to anyone else, then this is not fair, right? It's not fair. If you don't want it, that is your choice. But you cannot stop me from taking it to others who want it. Are you following? That is the philosophy of jihad in Islam. The philosophy in jihad in Islam, not to kill the people. No. In Islam, the mission is to invite the people, the da'wah. the da'wah precedes always to invite the people to the deen. Jihad is only a tool when the necessity and the need arises, you resort to it. It is not a goal in itself. The goal is to guide the people. The goal is to present the truth to the people. The goal is to bring the people from the darkness into the light. That is the goal. Are you following? So in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ makes it clear. Whenever he sends any army, he tells the commander,